All right, y'all. We back for another episode of Excellent Adventures. The wait is over. This young woman right here, she's been setting the internet ablaze, showing folks how to just raise their own food, grow their own food, prepare it. She's building fences for goats. She's got rabbits hanging all around the coop. All types of good stuff. She's going to teach us how to fertilize and everything in between. Whitney of Royal Roots Farm is in the building on another episode of Excellent Adventures with your boy Reec. What's going on, Miss Lady?
Hey, how are you?
I'm well. I'm well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well.
That's good. That's good. Look, when I look at your page, I get inspired to start growing stuff. I don't know if you saw recently, we grew a pumpkin by accident. We didn't do it on purpose, but now I feel like I could grow stuff. You know, I feel like I'm in the game now. I'm about to be up there with y'all. So how did you get started? That's what we're gonna get started with. How did you get started? We have a thing called an old cluck moment, like, oh cluck, I'm really a chicken person, or I'm really in the dirt person. What was that moment for you when you really realized this is what you do?
Well, so how I got started actually was it was so random. I have, if anybody has followed me, I have a lot of kids, and I wanted them to be healthier. I was noticing that a lot of kids had like these childhood diseases, and I was thinking statistically, with me having the amount of kids I have, like one of them is going to end up having a childhood like illness, and I said I don't want to do that. So I started paying attention to like what we were eating, and I said I'm going to grow a garden because it was expensive to buy fresh produce all the time and organic stuff. So I said, if I just grow it myself, I can control what we eat. And then it just snowballed. It really snowballed. I started with like 2 raised beds in the back of a rental. And then I was like, I want some chickens because I want some fresh eggs. And then I got like 7 chickens. And then, I mean, as you know, chicken math turns into
a couple of acres and some goats.
yeah, that's exactly what happened. So it snowballed into this thing. And it actually also, I was going through a lot of things, like with mental health and stuff and being overwhelmed. And it was a peaceful place for me.
Okay.
To be outside and to grow my food and to be with my animals.
I'm enjoying this story because it's so similar to other ones we've heard, but the end result is good mental health practices, healthy eating habits, trying to get a better quality of life for your family. And that's what this is all about, sharing those stories and just inspiring other people to get busy, getting outside and doing those things too. Now you do a lot. When we look at your page, you got a lot of stuff, positive, great things going on, but you got a lot of great things. I even saw some posts with your sister came over. She's an electrician. Did you guys grow up just being hands-on, jumping in things?
No, actually. Okay. So people have known me from when I was a child and they see me now, like maybe we haven't spoken over the years. They're like, what in the world? I was the girliest, most prissy. Like, ooh, bug, no.
Oh man, that's funny. That also, one of my daughters has hope. She doesn't want anything to do with bugs and outside, so it's some hope for her.
Yeah. I mean, like I was spoiled. Like my story is so weird. And even though I grew up kind of in the country, we didn't like. I still was in a neighborhood, and I didn't have to do. I played outside because that was just the era that I grew up in. But
yeah, we rolled by you, drink out the water hose era.
Right. But other than that, I wasn't messing with no bugs. I wasn't growing no food. I wasn't even cooking. Like growing up, my grandmother did a lot of cooking and I watched. And I think that's why I'm able to do it now. But I didn't do any of that growing up.
She hardwired it and you didn't even know she was doing it. Big Mama had you covered. That's awesome. The transition came when you said, I want to make a mental health, I want to make a health change. You start growing with a couple of raised beds. Where are you at now with growing? What crops do you have? Because you got a lot of stuff. I like it.
I know. I actually had to narrow down. I had to narrow down because of the simple fact that I was all over the place. So one of the things when I talk about mental health is I have ADHD. And
same. Welcome to the club. Man, I have it too. It's a superpower for radio. Not great when you're in a meeting.
Yes, and so it really when people ask me, like when you ask me how I got started, it was also a symptom of ADHD because
Mm,
I had to do something new and exciting in order for me to get the endorphins going. And so with farming, there's always something new and exciting. So when I started, I was all over the place. I grew everything I possibly could, even stuff that we didn't even eat.
Hold on.
We
What
actually
was you
wanted to grow
growing
it.
that you didn't eat? Tell me a couple things that you grew that
Um,
you had no business doing.
Well, okay, so I'm not gonna say I have any business doing it, but because at the end of the day, it also opens up to eating different things. But
Okay.
like I grew eggplants, and we never ate eggplants, and I was like, why am I growing this? But it was because I got like these seed catalogs, and they were so
Mm,
pretty, and I just wanted to grow them. And then I got them, and I was like, we got to figure out, like, I'm not gonna waste this. How are we gonna
mm.
eat this?
Get some recipes going.
Yes, yes. So I did grow a lot of different things. I have narrowed it down as I'm narrowing down my focus of my farm in general
Okay.
to I do a lot of beans because um dried beans is something that I wanted to kind of stock up on. I'm not gonna say I'm a prepper, but I have a prepper mindset.
Hmm.
So dried beans is something that has longevity, and that we can make a lot of meals out of. So I started doing more of that versus squash because we don't eat
Okay.
a lot of squash.
And it
Um,
has a very very shorter shelf life. I
I
feel like
started
beans
growing
last forever.
things.
I feel you.
Yeah, and so like for me, it was more about what made sense because I'm a
Mm,
logical thinker too. So like logically, this would have more value for me and my large family long term versus something
mm,
that I would have to first of all take up a lot of space to grow, and
yeah.
then I would have to like eat it right away or process it right away and serve it. So I narrowed it down that way.
Got you. What beans did were you growing?
Black eyed peas, butter beans. This year I did brown crowder beans, which I had never had before. But a
I
lot of
never
people in the
even heard of
country was
those.
like, there's a lot of people that are around me.
Hmm.
They are like, oh, those are the best, and they start telling me stories about like, in the country growing up, my grandma used to make these, and so I started growing them.
Have they been good to you?
Oh yeah, oh
That's
yeah.
what's up. I never even heard of those, so I'm gonna look into that.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope.
Yep.
That is so dope.
And then I still grow things like cucumbers and tomatoes because I pickle every year, and I,
Mhm.
make my own spaghetti sauces and things like that for my kids.
That's amazing, incredible stuff. We had my other show. We got a hype bell. I want to hit it so bad, but it's not for this show. This is incredible, and to be in this space, I know I'm coming from an entertainment world where in radio we get a lot of sizzle things, and this person got in trouble for this, and this person did that, and the Diddy stuff is going on. So we'll be talking about that, and it sometimes becomes a toxic environment online. But I've learned that with this, it's given me so much balance. Being in the agricultural sec and backyard chicken raising and farming and homesteading. Has that been the case for you too? Has it been like a safer space online for you?
I honestly, yes. And so I follow a lot of creators, and that's how I started. I started
Hmm.
by following creators and kind of feeling like, okay, this is the type of lifestyle I want to live and I want my kids to grow up in. So it's the wholesomeness of homesteading and family has definitely helped again with my mental health, but also with me being a better mom because I was very fast paced. I have been a business owner for almost 20 years, and so it was always work, 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 and I wasn't really giving my kids and family the time that I needed to. And
Mm,
this lifestyle has kind of shifted me, even in my mindset, to this more wholesome family way of living and simple way of living.
that is so cool. How have the kids were they adjusted well to this lifestyle?
So my older kids that were not accustomed to it took a little
Hmm.
bit longer to get there. My younger kids that kind of just grew up in it, that's all they know. So I have
Hmm.
4-year-old twins, and I mean, all they know is living on a farm. That's just what they know about going outside and and getting something off of a plant and eating it, or feeding the goats or getting eggs. They don't know anything else. My older ones, like my oldest daughter, she is about to be 19, and she was like I was growing up. Like she
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to touch anything. She was like, no. I'm like, can you just hold this so I can screw it in? And she was like, oh, my nails, you know.
But you can't be mad at her because she's doing what she knew.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
That's cool. Same with us. Like I have 19, 19, 17, 17, 7. 7 is growing up
Totally
doing
different.
right. My little sister right with her. They growing up with ponies and goats and
Yep.
chickens and all of. They were excited about the pumpkin that we grew by accident. So older kids later on they come around and go, oh, I want to hang out. Like one of my oldest daughters helped me wash one of the piglets this weekend. And that thing was screaming and splashing the water. I was like, ooh, my daughter about to snap on me at any given moment because the piglet was just going crazy in the tub, just splashing up water. She pooped in the tub. She
Oh,
sat there and watched that piglet with me for about 19, 20 minutes. Wasn't even tripping in. She was like, oh, we're going to do the
yeah.
ponies today too? I'm like, oh, okay.
They slowly get in there.
Yeah.
They slowly
Yeah.
get in. My 19-year-old now, we were having a conversation yesterday, and she said that because even up until she's in college now, but even up until then, when she was still living here, it was still hard, like pulling teeth trying to get her to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And she's finding herself talking to her friends like, "Yeah, my mom has a farm, and
Mm.
we have goats, and
Now
we
that
grow."
we right. What was we when I had to clean it up?
Uh huh. Uh huh.
That's cool though. I love that. I really do. And it's kind of cool seeing other people gravitate toward it and they like, oh, they find an interest in it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
talk about these goats because I saw you laying these posts down. I said, this is a Wonder Woman right here. Where did you get the idea? Because we also use retriever kennels for our goats. And where
I
did you get
actually,
that? Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Now, I was
I'm
gonna
so
ask
anxious
where did
to
you get that
answer.
idea and where did you get those like the idea to use the post because I'm gonna steal that. I'm taking that to use the post to kind of shore up where the joints kind of fail because after so many panels, it gets a little loose.
Mm-hmm. So I actually always use the retriever fence or kennels when I
Mm-hmm.
have my chickens because I
Got you.
tried to build my own fence with chicken wire, and I have a really old video. I might have even hid it on my YouTube of me, and I was actually pregnant with my twins building this fence, and that thing was sagging. I mean, it was a mess. And so I ended up going to Tractor Supply, and they had the chick
Yeah,
day,
the
and
Woodward
they had
Chick
the
Day.
chicks,
Yep.
and they were in a kennel, and I was like, oh my God,
I'm doing that.
perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So that's how I started. I started with like just kind of building that around my chicken coop.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got my goats, I was like, I am not about to sit here and try to build a fence. I can just use these panels.
Mm-hmm.
And a friend of mine had he didn't have the same he had fence panels, but
Mm-hmm.
he had bought some posts and he was anchoring it to the post. And I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. And
Mm.
it kind of just went from there. And because I do a lot of this by myself. Like I
Right.
really don't have help right now. Um, and so because I had to do it by myself, it was also just easier for me to like dig a post hole and put a post in and then just use the panels versus trying to
Right.
do a whole fencing system alone.
I get that. I absolutely get that. How did you bond those panels to the post?
I use what are they called? There's some people look. I'm
It's
handy.
like
I
like
do
a C
not know
clamp.
the termage.
Oh,
It's
me
like
neither.
a the
It's all good. We in the same boat. I'm just if I could screw this to that, that's what I'm gonna call it. The this
yep,
to the that.
yep. It's a strap or it's in the plumbing because it's like where you would strap the PVC pipes
Okay.
is what they kind of call it, a clamp or something. And I just use that. Fits perfectly around
It's
the
the metal
end
ones.
hole. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I know exactly what you're talking about. The metal
Yep.
clamp straps. That's what we're
Those
gonna call
things.
them. Why not? That's what they are. Metals. Now they metal fence, retriever clamp stamps,
Yep.
whatever we want to call them. that is neat. That is really neat. Now, what are we up to now? Because I also saw that you had built your rabbits. You put them up top, right? So now the poop
Yeah.
can fall and you can collect your fertilizer. Where did you get with that? Because I know you did a couple of changes with that, trying to get the right formula.
I'm still trying.
I got an
Well, the
idea
issue
for you.
is, oh, you gotta share it. You gotta share
Yeah,
it. the issue is that it's a temporary setup right now.
Mm-hmm.
So when I decided to shift to rabbits, it wasn't even like a conscious thing that I decided to do. I just wanted some rabbits.
Mm-hmm.
But when I got into it, and it was so much easier than chickens,
Mm-hmm.
and it was so much cleaner, and it took up less space, I was like, this is my focus. And I really
Mm-hmm.
fell in love with it. So I ended up, just like with chicken math, I ended up going from 3 rabbits to 18 in a very short span.
So did you get the 18 or did the rabbit start rabbiting
No,
and they made it 18?
I got the 18. Like the
Jesus,
rabbits
Whitney.
are rabbiting now,
Yeah,
but
bet.
I got the 18. Yeah, I
Uh,
went because I was trying to figure out which breed I wanted for meat to bone ratio and all that stuff. And then I started seeing people who had them for sale in my area, so I was like, I'm just
mm,
gonna get it. And then people started asking me if I wanted some because they
I
knew what
bet
I
they
was
did.
doing,
Yeah, yeah,
and
that's
I
what
was like,
happened to me.
sure,
That's how I went from 1 to 8.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I went. I wasn't supposed to be doing that. So I had to just kind of build something really fast because there was nowhere for them to go. So
Right.
I would just go and get a cage and I would hang it. And I actually have a contractor that is supposed to be building me this really nice. I didn't design it. I kind of stole a little bit from this design and a little bit from that design, and I put it
Mm-hmm.
together how I want my rabbit hutch to be.
Yes.
So that's what's going to be the next project because I'm going to be teaching rabbit farming in the spring.
Okay. All right. All right. Now, what are we using them for? Fertilizer, meat, and pelt, or what are we doing?
Yes, so I have saved some pelts and I've gotten a little bit better with making sure that I don't make any mistakes on when I'm doing the processing to
Right.
kind of preserve the pelt. But I mainly use it for meat and fertilizer. So
Gotcha.
we process usually about at least once a month right now. I'm getting ready to work on twice a month as they have more babies.
Right.
And
Because that's what
then
they gonna
yeah, yeah.
do.
Yes, I'll be gone, and then my daughter will be at home, like maybe a Saturday if I'm working, and she'll be like, the rabbit had babies." She'll call me.
Right.
But yeah, so that's what we're doing right now, mainly for meat. I have been trying to get this system, so I was saying that it's a temporary setup right now, so I don't
Mhm.
have the poop collection
Mhm.
together. So right now, it just kind of drops
Right. I
in
got
these totes, and I have like a screen that kind of will sift it, I guess.
you. Yeah.
But it's definitely going to be a project that I'm going to have to work on to get a better system to collect the poop.
I got
But
you.
those
Yeah.
are the
I
two
was
reasons that
gonna
I'm
say
using it for.
that. I was
Yeah,
gonna say that when you put the screen over the tote, then when it drops down, you won't have as much hay and stuff inside the tote.
yeah.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, that's cool. But yeah, I saw a really nice one where it was a hutch, right? But they were using big dog kennels that were above ground. And then they had like at the bottom of the bottom where the rabbits walk on, it's a screen. So when they poop, it falls down, but it will fall directly down onto another like it was a slanted metal sheet,
Mm-hmm.
and that will
Mm-hmm.
roll right into the bins.
I think
They're
that
able to pick them up.
if it's what I'm thinking or what I'm picturing you saying is kind of part of the design that I am supposed to be getting built here shortly.
Mm. Okay, cool. Well, I wish you the best of luck on that one because I think that's gonna be incredible because people are getting into and learning that rabbit fertilizer is really good because
Oh
they
yeah.
eat all the stuff that'll help the plants grow.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Cool. It's almost good as alpaca poop pellets.
I've never used that. I do want some alpacas. Look, don't give me any ideas,
Oh
okay?
my goodness. Okay, I'm sorry. I got that from Upendo Estates. They're here in Georgia and they use alpacas. They have an incredible following, but they do some great things. They do a lot of homesteading. And she
Okay.
put me on the alpaca poop. So
Another thing I'm going to end up getting. Okay.
right, right. Talk to me about dream animals. What happens when if you had a wish list and you can get whatever you wanted to get and the space to get it. What is coming in that backyard?
Well, I want some sheep. My
Okay.
kids love lamb. And so my idea is to have things that I know we're going to actually use.
Yes.
So I do want to I'm actually going to a class tomorrow morning for processing
Okay.
sheep and or lamb and goat.
Mhm.
And so I did process a couple of my goats this past weekend. A friend of mine came and helped me, but I wanted to learn how to do it like the right way.
Right. Right.
So that's kind of what I want to expand my goats and get some sheep. Um, as far as dream animals, my kids want a horse, of course, but I was like, we gotta have things that serve a purpose right now. Right now, I
Mhm.
can't. That's not in the budget.
Right. Can't do nothing
But
but pick
hopefully, if we
for
got some time, right?
it. I
Hopefully, we'll
got it.
get in time. We'll get the space that we need, and I'll be able to get them a horse or two.
Nice, nice stuff. As you get deeper into this and you are starting to have conversations with people who are not in this space, when you explain to them the benefits, what are you leading with? Is it the mental health, or is it that this food is just changed our lives, or is it all of the above?
It's mainly the food because a lot of people talk to me. Like I have people who will follow me not for the farm stuff, but for like the things that I cook when I post like a
Yeah,
meal or
you in there
something.
whipping.
So it mostly will be a conversation about food when I'm
Hmm.
talking to people and about how how to eat healthier and stuff like that. So then it kind of goes into me growing my own food or raising my own food and how
Hmm.
that's healthier as well. But it starts off about the food. And then I go into, the mental health things and then just having your kids grow up in this kind of environment where it makes them well rounded.
Hmm.
Because these kids, these man, they so entitled.
Yeah, yeah. It's like
It's like, what are we
everything's
missing?
everything is given and everything is fast. But for a
Mm-hmm.
kid that has to watch an animal grow up, I got to take care of it for it to reach that status. If I have to
Yeah.
do these things to get these plants to grow, then I got to pick it off, clean it, prepare it, and eat it. It's a different type of sense of value to things.
Yes. And they don't get lazy because they have to do something. They have to
Mm,
get up and move. My kids, the TV was taken probably
mm,
about a week ago. And, prior to, like, I'll say maybe a year ago, if the TV was taken, it was the end of the world. They were
mhm,
just all super depressed and angry and fighting. And now, when I take a TV or a tablet or a phone, they just go outside.
mm.
They just
You
go
know what?
outside.
I'm gonna watch these rabbits. I'm gonna play with these goats.
Yep.
Is it is how rewarding, because that's the word I want to use, rewarding is it when you get to process your own foods, even when it comes to the animals? We care about them, we raise them, and some people like, I can't do it. Like me right now, I can't do it, but I admire people that can, because I know how much healthier that food source is going to be as opposed to buying it from a store, not a farmer's market, but just like a regular store.
Hmm. I would say it's very rewarding. In the beginning, I think I was a little bit more hesitant as well. And it wasn't so much that I was like, I can't do it. It was just that it was something new.
Hmm.
And so it took me a while to get used to it. I knew what I want. My mind was already made up when I switched over to this lifestyle that this is what
Mm,
I want to do. So
right, I'm getting it for that. Got,
that's the goal. It wasn't so much that I was like, I can't do it. It was just that I was new to it. So like when I processed my first chicken, I had to build myself up to it. I was like, okay, you got this. You can do it. But once I got there, I was fine. And it's rewarding because like when we processed our goats this past weekend, this was the first time that my kids even ate goat. Like I've
mm,
had it
mhm,
from like a Jamaican restaurant or something,
right.
but they've never eaten it. And so they watched us process it and then I cooked it and then they've gotten accustomed to what I'm trying to teach them that what we're doing is we are controlling what we eat. We
Mhm,
respect our animals. We treat them well. We make sure they are well fed, they are taken care of, but at the same time, they are for nourishment for us.
right.
And
And that's known from the jump, so that makes the conversation easy.
yes, yes.
Gotcha.
And even with my oldest daughter, she went through a period where she was like, I'm not eating meat anymore because she was watching the process and I guess it freaked her
Mhm,
out a little bit.
mhm,
But even then she would go to like the fast food restaurant and get something. And I'm like, that's still meat. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're not a vegetarian,
Right.
but you're eating something
Mhm.
that's more processed and
Right.
unhealthy than what we
Something you
already
don't know
have.
at all.
Yeah, yeah. So it's rewarding in a sense that we can, see the fruits of our labor, and also that my kids are learning, um, the importance of, first of all, caring for something, and
Mm-hmm.
then also controlling what they eat and eating healthier and not eating a lot of processed food and stuff like that.
Has it helped to change your palate at all?
Actually, it has. Okay. So I love, if I'm going to have a guilty pleasure, I love Waffle House. Okay.
Okay, we in the
I,
same boat.
and so I will go and I will just every now and then, sometimes on Sundays before church, we'll go so I don't have to cook breakfast or something. And I noticed that their food is saltier, which I don't even see them
Yes. Mm-hmm.
using salt. But because I don't use it hardly ever at home,
Mm-hmm.
anything someone else cooks now is salty to me.
Yes.
So
I
it's
get. I, no, I
definitely
mean,
changed my
I
palate.
promise the same since I've been watching and I'm cooking more with spices. And I know salt is technically it is a spice, right? I don't really use it,
Hmm.
right? And now when I go out and I eat something different or eat somewhere else, I'm like, this is salty, and I get it. But you can
But
still
there
get a
is a
flavor with
balance.
it.
It's
Yeah.
still a balance because I learned how to use my herbs and spices
Mhm.
to flavor things. So when people taste my cooking, they don't notice that it doesn't have salt.
Right.
But when you go somewhere else, they don't use like herbs and things to flavor it. So it's got to be salty in order for you
Hmm.
to like it.
Right. That makes so much sense, and that I hope people kind of take that in stride when they're getting more into a healthier lifestyle too.
Hmm.
Now this has been incredible. I saw, and just correct me if I'm wrong. I think I saw too that you had jewelry too at some point.
I did. So I got really into my blackness and I was like, I'm gonna do waist
That's
beads.
what the name. I
You know,
love the name. I didn't even get to that part yet. The Royal Roots Farm. I love the logo. That beautiful silhouette. And it just reminds me of Black excellence at every
yeah.
turn of it. So I love
I
the
got
embrace.
really into cultural things. I did my ancestry. I learned that I was like 36% Nigerian and
Mm.
like 20% Ghanaian. I was like, I am African, you know? So,
I'm waiting on my DNA test to come back from ancestry.com. It's been extracted. I'm still waiting.
yeah. So I was like, this is like, I want, and then I also have girls. I have all
Mhm.
girls.
Yeah, I
And
made all girls, and I got a bonus boy. But yeah.
yeah, and they are beautiful. Black girls are, they suffer from a lot of insecurities, and
Hmm.
I think um I grew up dark skinned, and that back then that was a
Yeah,
challenge.
man, listen, I was born in the '80s, so I know how it was. Like, and my family, we like my grandma's light skin, my granddad's brown skin on my mom's side, and on my dad's side, it's almost the same thing. So then we have a mix. So I might have like three brown skin aunties, three light skin, my mama super like it, you know what I mean? So it's a
Yeah.
mix. And you can see the dynamics of how the interaction
Hmm.
is with other people, with my cousins. And it's like 50
Yeah.
of us, and all of us are different shades of brown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we had all the jokes and then growing up, but then when you get older, you like, you know what, we really all the same because we get pulled over. I don't care how light skin or brown skin you are, we get treated the same,
Yeah.
depending on
Yeah.
where you are.
And just embracing that, because I think I struggled with it because I was darker and I had that insecurity. And so when I saw my girls going through that, because we live in a country, I mean, not in the country, in the well, in the county,
Mm-hmm.
where it wasn't a lot of us when we first moved out here. So my daughters, they had locks, and they started saying things like, I want my hair straight, or something about, and I
Mm-hmm.
had to start teaching them like, you are beautiful, you
Mm-hmm.
know and so it kind of all encompassed like me trying to like teach them that they are beautiful, that they are royalty, that you are,
Yes.
you know these. And so I kind of molded all that together in the farm, and just understanding, that we came from this lineage where we should be proud of it, and
Right.
we're royal roots. And it kind of, royal roots actually started as my hair because I've been doing hair for 20 years. And then I said, I can use this for gardening because, you know, there's roots in the ground. And then I
Yeah.
started talking about our heritage and our background. And so our roots. So it kind of just all molded together into
Come
Royal
on,
Roots.
double entendres. I love it. Let's do it. We can use it for everything.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's incredible. Keep doing it. Keep doing it because the inspiration coming from that is definitely well received. When I share your stuff, let my daughter see it or sharing it on my Facebook pages or with my audience, they love it too because we need more positive influences. Uh, just hue positivity. That's what I'm gonna call it. We need that.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely need that. So thank you for what you're doing and really embracing that and showing our little girls that, you know, you are special. You have your superpowers.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes.
Yep. So man, this has been incredible. I really appreciate your time when we're jumping in with us and doing what you do. I see you got some products coming out. When is a cookbook coming? Because these recipes, you be killing these recipes. I'm watching these things like I'm watching the Food Network sometimes.
Listen, I have been saying I was going to do a cookbook for a long time, and I really do want to do it. But again, the ADHD, because I'll sit down and I'll be like, okay, I'm going to write this recipe down. And then, you know, I don't.
Man, you might as well just do a video cookbook.
What I thought, and you know, so I try to record as much content as possible, but you know, like when
Yeah.
you are recording and trying to do it at the same time,
Yeah, it gets
it's
tricky.
sometimes, yeah, and then that editing part. And so I probably have hundreds of videos of me cooking something that
Yeah,
I just haven't put together. Like,
I got you.
or I might have had something happen and I didn't record a part of it, and I'm like, this is incomplete. So trash.
This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna get you one of them editing houses. They gonna fix this up for you and get you right. All right. And then we're gonna get you gonna get some of the meta glasses. Well, all you gotta do is put them on and let the camera roll while they catch everything you're looking at.
Yes, yes, because I love doing it, and I love when people like I have a friend that came over this morning because I cooked some curry goat,
Hmm.
and she was like, "I know you saved me a plate." I said, "You
Right.
came over here just to get something to eat."
Yeah, she did. Exactly
I
what she
posted
did.
it online yesterday, so I love it. I love it, and I also love that my kids are learning how to cook, and I want the youth because we don't like they are eating this food that is
Poison.
convenient because they
Let's
don't
just say
know.
it's poison. We're gonna say it is what it is. Some of the stuff
Mm-hmm.
that we eat here is illegal in other countries.
Yeah,
Please
yeah,
check me on this, folks. If you listening or watching, check me on it and look it up.
yeah. And it's but it's because it's convenient or they don't even know how. Because even when I like some people were asking me to help them grow stuff, and they'll grow like a little thing here or there, and then once they've got it, they're like, "Now what I'm supposed to do with it?" Like they don't know how to cook it from scratch.
Right.
So I want to and being that I have a large family, I also want to just share how can I feed a large family with what I'm growing. And so I love doing that. Actually, I love doing that more than being outside now.
Mm,
Is teaching people how to utilize their food and make different recipes, but it doesn't have to be as complicated as some of these videos are. It
come
could
on,
be
recipe.
very simple.
I love
Mm-hmm.
it. What Michael Irvin said, we losing recipes. I like that you're sharing that with the world because we need it. It's needed. It's needed. You
Yeah.
are so needed. Protect this woman at all costs, y'all. Once again, thank you for coming on the show, sharing your story. We're going to continue to tap in with your social media. We're probably going to have you back when we start talking about we're going to do some specialty episodes where we might grab somebody
Okay.
and say just talk about rabbits or just talk about recipes or just talk
Awesome.
about fencing. So we're going to have some of those episodes coming. So you're definitely on that list of people we want to tap in with. So thank you again for all you do. And
Absolutely.
y'all keep following Whitney and Royal Roots Farm.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, mama. We're gonna catch you on the next one.
Okay.
All right.